Welcome. Let's talk about getting spiritual awakening help. What is that? What are we talking about? I'm Jim Tolles. I'm a spiritual teacher. I blog regularly at spiritualawakeningprocess.com. I started that in 2010. That's when I started teaching. This is not my first rodeo. I've seen a lot and I know a lot, and I want to help you. I encourage you to stay in touch through my newsletter. You can find a link down in the description as well as on my blog. Spiritual awakening is an interesting term. I've definitely gone through slightly different definitions. What I'm usually talking about is when something inside no longer wants to believe in the illusion and just can't fully recommit anymore. And there's this sense of dropping of attachments and beliefs. Most people have spiritual openings, these moments of seeing a little bit of truth, but then they don't go into that dropping phase. They come up with a new idea about themselves, they shut it back down, ignore what they saw. So that's spiritual awakening. So what is help? Help is in support of the letting go process, letting go of all the illusions and attachments that don't exist anywhere outside of our own heads. That's what getting spiritual awakening help is. However, a lot of what's being offered these days is around helping you to create a new spiritual ego, helping you to feel special in yourself, helping you to manage all sorts of different internal spaces and problems and issues that you don't know how to manage. It's offering magical solutions, and we need to go dig a hole and drop our magical solutions in it and bury them because they do you no good. They're no good. We have to want to see reality. And that's what the dropping leads us towards, is understanding, firstly, the reality of ourselves. And a lot of people don't really want to do that. The distress that people are living in is monumental. We don't breathe, drink the same sorts of water, breathe the right ways. We're not getting the right nutrition. We're not active in the right ways. We're not sleeping the right ways when we don't have a stable community around us. And by a stable community, I'm talking about hunter-gatherer. Hunter-gatherer, like this is what we evolved to do. And these are the groups who were around for potentially millions of years. If we think about primates and mammalian development and all that stuff that's still encoded in here in that mammalian brain, right? That's about 30 or 40 people that you stay with your whole life. The only way into and out of that group is into the birth canal, out of it, feet first. And now our communities are broken and fragmented and constantly changing. We're constantly meeting new people, right? This is a stress. All these things are creating a big drive towards some sort of magical solution. And we haven't even started talking about all the emotional, psychological, sexual traumas that are going on. And other physical abuses. And it's really, really bad. The concept of wanting to wake up is a good one in the sense that we have to wake up to reality, but it is so distorted by our lack of understanding of ourselves. I encourage all of you to research more about the body and what we were evolved to do. When you live within those parameters, you will feel better. One of the urgent elements of this path is letting go of all this ego resistance that says, it's not that bad. We're progressing. We're getting better. No. Go do your research. We're not. We have been fixing a 12 to 15,000 year mistake called the agricultural revolution. Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari can help explain that to you, why I'm saying stuff like that, and others have said the same. That we created all sorts of diseases, lack of nutritional diversity, and lots of other problems through agricultural revolution that exploded the population, but there was a significant trade-off. And so we've learned to deal with sanitation and deal with a lot of those diseases that were created 10 or 12,000 years ago. Now, that's the progress we're looking at. I say, well, look back, like 100 years, 200 years, we're better on these things. It's like on some of them, yeah, after we messed it up. And then there are other things that we're getting noticeably worse at. Getting spiritual awakening help means wanting to understand these realities. It's not about a magical solution to all the things that you don't understand. But when we have so many things that are imbalanced inside, and all these parts are screaming at us for help and support, we start to look for something more magical and larger and grandiose. And this is shown up in so much of our media, of this big moment where somebody does some magical thing and the whole world is fixed over again. That's not how it is. I'm here to support you in understanding yourself. I have online classes. I do online communities to try and help with the community piece that we're all badly lacking in. And occasionally I do one-on-ones, usually based off of who's in my communities, because I'm trying to create positive social feedback loops. If you're not already on the newsletter, please sign up. Please come to a class. Let's start getting to work. One last thing is, I know there's a sense that you can do this on your own, but trust me, that is the longest way. And that's if you're successful. And most of the time what we do is we just reinforce what we already want to believe. Getting real spiritual awakening help means having people that can see differently than you, that can see outside the box that you're stuck in. That's what I do. That's what I encourage in the communities that I build. Ultimately, it's about being free of suffering, but in this day and age, it's also becoming about being out of pain and disease. We have to let go of our egos that are causing us to be diseased. Alcohol, overconsumption of sugars of all kinds, cigarettes. We are diseasing ourselves. Are you getting this? That's insanity. And we're doing more to cause more levels of disease. The emotional burnout and general information burnout that people are going through is doing nothing good for our nervous systems or our brains. These are big problems. I encourage you to find and get useful spiritual awakening help now. Come out of the illusions, support your bodies better, and you will also support your loved ones better.